He was the rebellious teenager whose song tore through the internet, turning him into a viral phenomenon almost overnight. For a brief moment, Tay-K stood on the razor's edge between skyrocket fame and a life riddled with legal peril. Many were drawn to his raw, unfiltered style, the defiant sense of urgency in his music, and the swarm of controversy surrounding him. But behind the buzz of his breakout track lay a darker reality that would lead him not just into one courtroom, but two. Now, with new testimony emerging in a second trial, the question becomes, how did this rising star go from internet sensation to facing the possibility of never experiencing freedom again? Before people latched onto his persona, Tay-K was just another young artist striving to stand out in a crowded hip-hop landscape. His talent for capturing gritty experiences in his lyrics earned him a growing fan base looking for something genuine. The trouble was, his work soon appeared to mirror his real life more than anyone suspected. That conflict between art and reality came roaring into focus when The Race burst onto the internet. It wasn't just another rap single. It felt like the raw documentation of a teenage fugitive dodging the authorities. Fans devoured every line, energized by the thrill of someone who seemed to be living the life most only heard about secondhand. Yet the viral success of that track ran parallel to something much more ominous. Allegations linking him to a home invasion that left one person dead. While The Race climbed the charts and spawned endless internet memes, Tay-K found himself backed into a corner by law enforcement, his lyrics beginning to sound less like fiction and more like a confession. His first major trial ended with a lengthy prison sentence for his involvement in that earlier incident. Many assumed the worst was finally over, that this was the climactic act of a narrative that combined teenage rebellion, lethal violence, and online stardom. But they were wrong. A new case emerged, this time surrounding a separate, fatal confrontation. The victim, a cameraman named Mark who thought he was meeting up for a simple photo shoot. Where rumors once hovered in the background, this second trial yanked them into the spotlight, especially when Tay-K's ex-girlfriend stepped forward, ready to testify in explicit detail about what happened that day. According to her, what started as an innocent opportunity to snap photos at a low cost quickly morphed into a plan to take Mark's camera gear by force. She explained how Tay-K orchestrated the meetup, sometimes using her phone to hide his involvement. Once Mark was in the car, the energy allegedly shifted from creative collaboration to outright robbery. She claimed Tay-K demanded Mark's bag at gunpoint when they stopped at a light. That was the moment everything spiraled into chaos. Mark refused to hand over his equipment and fought back, landing himself outside the car and gripping the hood to keep from being thrown off. The ex-girlfriend recalled frantically begging the others to let him go as they lurched forward. In her version of events, Tay-K took aim and fired the shot that ended Mark's life, all within minutes of what was supposed to be a routine photography session. Her testimony electrified the court. Some argued she was blaming him to secure a lighter penalty for herself. Others believed every word, convinced her account exposed the deadly reality behind the rapper's rebellious image. The family of Mark, meanwhile, relived the horror of losing a loved one over what they saw as a senseless act of greed. Fans across social media split into factions, those who insisted Tay-K was misunderstood, possibly manipulated by others, and those who viewed him as a violent individual who'd become the architect of his own doom. The case reignited debates about the extent to which music should be taken at face value. When an artist's lyrics seem to mirror real events so closely, is it art imitating life or life imitating art? By this point, Tay-K was already looking at a crushing 55-year sentence for his role in the earlier incident. Many legal experts argued that a second conviction for a separate killing in Texas would likely ensure he'd never leave prison. Observers began to see his story as more than just an alarming rap scandal. It revealed how fast fame can lead to catastrophic choices, especially when fueled by internet hype and a culture that lionizes danger. The speed at which The Race took off turned him into a cult-like figure, someone whose run from the law became a kind of twisted game for spectators. Yet, when the real world caught up, the fantasy ended in tragedy, leaving lasting scars on everyone involved. This spiral forced people to reevaluate how the music industry and social media rewards, or even promotes, controversial figures. Digital platforms seemed to boost Tay-K's status the more extreme his reputation became. Fans clamored for behind-the-scenes stories, rumor updates, and new music that felt authentic. Labels circled, eager to sign a hot new act who generated organic buzz. But once the weight of actual legal consequences sank in, and the harrowing details of Mark's death came to light, the conversation changed. People questioned how far they were willing to glorify violence in the name of entertainment. Sympathy for the victim and his grieving family swelled, while the fascination with Tay-K's rebellious persona began to fade. The tragedy also raised difficult questions about artistry, legality, and the vulnerability of young talents. Hip-hop has a long history of storytelling that reflects harsh realities, but this situation took that interplay to an extreme. Tay-K's lyrics and public persona blurred the line between fictional bravado and an unsettling truth. Fans once thrilled by his run-from-the-law narrative had to face that these stories weren't just promotional tactics. They were part of an actual crime saga that left families broken and a young man possibly fated to spend decades behind bars. It became a grim reminder that the most shocking narratives, when confirmed as real, are never worth the collateral damage. While legal proceedings played out, the internet erupted with both conspiracy theories and genuine heartbreak. Some believed Tay-K had been sabotaged by those around him, who reaped the benefits of his fame while letting him make catastrophic decisions. Others saw him as a prime example of youthful recklessness, where easy access to guns and a desire for quick cash led to devastating outcomes. Whatever the interpretation, the incident underlined how one impulse can ruin multiple lives in seconds. On top of everything, the families of both the victim and the young rapper navigated emotional turmoil. For Mark's relatives, there was no solace beyond the prospect of legal accountability, and even that can't undo the loss they suffered. For Tay-K's loved ones, the realization of how quickly a young life can derail was a harsh awakening. In the aftermath, the excitement surrounding the artist's rebellion seemed hollow, replaced by a deeper awareness of the real cost of violence. Across the industry, the discussion pivoted to whether record labels bear responsibility for fueling hype around an artist who appeared to be entangled in real crime. Some said the quest for authenticity went too far. Others argued no label or listener can force someone to commit an act of violence. Ultimately, the story laid bare the complex web that ties fame, youth, and the lure of money to life-altering mistakes. A single day's decision can overshadow an entire career and doom a talented individual to decades in a cell. In the end, Tay-K's trajectory offers a powerful lesson about the illusions of fame. The meteoric rise he enjoyed was, in many ways, an illusion boosted by social media algorithms and a culture excited by taboo. Yet fame can't shield anyone from the truth of their actions, especially when those actions shatter lives. Now, with the second trial's allegations fully revealed and his ex-girlfriend's testimony resonating through the courtroom, Tay-K's future looks bleaker than ever. The question isn't whether he'll return to the spotlight, but whether the stories about him will soon shift from music sensation to a sobering case study of potential squandered. It's a stark reminder that, while the internet can turn ordinary people into celebrities overnight, it can just as quickly transform them into cautionary tales. In this particular saga, a young photographer lost his life, leaving behind a grieving family who never asked to be part of any viral drama. A rising artist, once celebrated for his gritty authenticity, has now become the face of reckless decisions. And a music community that thrives on edgy narratives must reckon with the fact that sometimes those stories are all too real. If there's any shred of hope in this devastating scenario, it's that others might learn from the chain of events that led to such a tragic outcome. Yet even that might feel hollow in the face of everything that's been lost. If you found this story revealing or gained a new perspective, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want more deep dives into headlines that challenge what we think we know. Your support helps keep these important discussions going.